There are some people who believe that when things happen, good or bad, that it was meant to be. It was your destiny for things to happen. Meanwhile, there are some who believe that if things don't go your way, then make them go your way, by any means necessary, even if it means ruining everyone else's lives, and your own. Now this duel was requested by Spooky Electronics, and I figured I'd start the new year with these two contrasting ideologies coming head to head in Duels of Despair Episode 2, with Flair Vermilion versus Trent. Who am I? You am I? I'm just gonna go by first names moving forward. But first, a bit of background. Flair was a champion, and was fairly well known, until one day Trent met him in the finals, and was able to win the duel, taking his title and his pride. Now Flair is back, wanting a rematch and his title back. He promises Trent that he will enter a world of pain and burning once he's through with them. And with Flair, he probably means both in card game form and in real life. Trent, meanwhile, believes it was destiny for him to win the title, and it will be destiny for him to keep the title as well. He holds no ill will towards Flair, more finding him annoying than anything else. But now these two are forced to clash in the finals of a big tournament to decide the champion. Will Flair get his revenge, or will Trent retain his title yet again? There's only one way to find out who wins this match, so let's jump into the duel. The duel begins and it's Flair's turn. His opening hand consists of Fire Formation Tenki, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Boar, Fiendish Chain, Threatening Roar, and Firecracker. Flair begins by activating the continuous spell Fire Formation Tenki, letting him add a level 4 or lower Beast Warrior monster from his deck to his hand. He adds Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Elephant. He then summons Elephant in attack mode. Technically there's a small error here that Elephant's supposed to have an extra 100 attack points, but it doesn't really matter because Elephant's effect immediately activates. By sending a Fire Formation spell or trap he controls to the graveyard, he can special summon a Fire Fist monster from his hand. So he sends Tenki to the graveyard and summons the tuner monster, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Boar, in attack position. Yeah, so that's why the 100 attack boosting doesn't really bother me. It's literally only going to be on screen for like a millisecond, so really, who gives a freak? I do consider I made the edit, but I'm getting off topic. He then has his level 4 Boar tune his level 4 Elephant in order to synchro summon level 8 Crimson Blader in attack mode. He then sets his Fiendish Chain and Threatening Roar face down and ends his turn. It's Trent's turn. He draws, and his opening hand consists of Vision Hero Vion, Vision Hero Ferris, King of the Swamp, Destiny Hero Diamond Dude, Destiny Hero Celestial, and an Impenetrable Attack. Trent then begins by discarding his Vision Hero Vion in order to special summon his Vision Hero Ferris in attack position. Ferris' effect then activates. Since it was summoned, at the cost of only being able to special summon hero monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, he can place one Vision Hero monster from his deck face up in the spell or trap zone as a continuous trap card. He selects Vision Hero Increase. He then uses Increase's effect. By tributing a hero monster, in this case Ferris, he can special summon Increase to the field. Increase's other effect then activates. Since it was special summoned from the spell or trap zone, Trent can special summon one level 4 or lower Vision Hero monster from his deck. He special summons Vision Hero Vion. Now thanks to Vion's effect, Trent can send one hero monster from his deck to the graveyard. He sends to his graveyard the only reason the semi-limited list exists, Destiny Hero Malicious. Now he uses Malicious's effect. By banishing it, he can special summon another Malicious straight from his deck. Now Trent uses Vion's other effect. By banishing a hero monster from his graveyard, he can add one Polymerization from his deck to his hand. He doesn't specify which hero he banishes, so we'll just assume it's Vision Hero Ferris. Why not? Trent then uses the effect of the King of the Swamp in his hand. By discarding it, he can add a second copy of Polymerization from his deck to his hand. He then uses said Polymerization. He fuses the Destiny Hero Malicious on the field with the Destiny Hero Diamond Dude in his hand to fusion summon Destiny Hero Dystopia! Dystopia's effect then activates. Since it was fusion summoned, it can target a level 4 or lower Destiny Hero monster in Trent's graveyard, and Flair will take damage equal to that target's attack points. Trent selects Diamond Dude, so Flair takes 1400 points of damage. Not really a misplay, more a nitpick. You should have used Celestial in that fusion summon there, Trent. That way you could have done 200 more damage to Flair. But then again, what am I saying? When has anyone ever won a duel with Sparks? Trent then uses the other Polymerization in his hand. He fuses the Destiny Hero Celestial in his hand with the Dystopia in his field in order to fusion summon Destiny Hero Dusktopia. Dusktopia's effect then activates. Since it was fusion summoned, Trent can immediately perform a fusion summon using monsters from his hand or field as fusion materials without the need of polymerization. So from his field, he fuses Vion and increase the fusion summon Vision Hero Adoration! Trent then goes to activate Adoration's effect, but Flair chains, activating his continuous trap card, Fiendish Chain. By targeting an effect monster on the field, in this case Adoration, that monster's effect is negated, and as long as it's face up, it can't attack. And this is where I have to give Flair a misplay, because he was sitting on that Fiendish Chain for way too long. If he had activated that card the second Ferris was summoned, he would be in a much better position right now, because then Trent can't do his long-ass combo anymore. And he can't really do much else with the hand he has aside from summon Diamond Dude, hope for a spell card, or maybe just set a monster. I do have a justification as to why he sat on that trap card for so long though. Tunnel Vision. Now it's possible that Flair lost his title partially due to Adoration. Now we find out later that he actually lost his title due to Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, but I think that Adoration could have also been a part of the equation. Like, he spent so long fighting Adoration and had a hard time with that, and then he's like basically out of resources by the time Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer comes out, and then he loses. So I like to think that he was holding on to that Fiendish Chain just in case either Adoration or Destroyer came out and, you know, he had a counter to it just, you know, the second they came out. But again, that's just my headcanon. It is a misplay at the end of the day that he didn't activate sooner because he could have stopped all of that from happening if he just activated Fiendish. So, yeah, misplay to Flair on this one. Back to the duel. Now, since Trent has the strongest monster on the field, Dusktopia, he decides to move into his battle phase, but the second he does, Flair activates his set Threatening Roar. Now Trent cannot declare an attack for the rest of the turn. Trent isn't bothered by this though. He sets Impenetrable Attack and Draining Shield face down. And see, this is where there's a mistake, because those of you who have been paying attention, yeah, he had an extra card in his hand. Oops. He had 6 when he started his turn. -1 to discard to summon Varus. -1 for summoning Varus. +1 when Vion searched from a polymerization. King of the Swamp ultimately made him neutral in card economy. -1 to activate polymerization. -1 with Diamond Dude to make Dustopia. -1 for the second poly and Celestial. And now he sets 2 cards face down, but he only has 1 in hand. But it's fine, after all, that was a long-ass combo. It's only natural that something slipped through the cracks. After all, we're only human and all that stuff. I ain't gonna get enraged or anything like last analysis. We all make mistakes, we're all human. It's just a slight error is all. It doesn't destroy the duel or anything. Like I said, we all make mistakes. Like I did when I started making YouTube videos. Anyway, it's Flair's turn now. He draws and gets the anime version of Card of Sanctity. He activates it. Now both duelists draw until they have 6 cards in their hand. Flair draws 5 cards, which are Fire Formation Yoko, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Bear, Concentrating Current, Breakthrough Skill, and Mystical Space Typhoon. Trent, meanwhile, draws 6 cards, which are Fusion Recovery, Tribute to the Doomed, and 4 mysterious cards. These 4 cards will never be used in the duel, and one of them is actually going to be discard fodder. So I'll theorize what they are. Destiny Hero Plasma, Destiny Hero Dasher, Vision Hero Witch Raider, and Deformation. Why not? Those are just theories anyway. It's all just a theory. A dueling theory! Thanks for depression. Flair then activates the continuous spell, Fire Formation Yoko. Now, by discarding a Beast Warrior type monster, like his bear, Flair can target and destroy 1 face-up card on the field. He targets Adoration. However, Trent changed by activating Dusktopia's other effect. It can target 1 monster on the field, in this case Adoration, and make that target unable to be destroyed by battle or card effects for the rest of the turn. Also, neither player takes any damage from attacks involving Adoration for the rest of this turn. Now, you could call it a misplay that Flair targeted the monster that was all chained up and not a threat anymore, but actually it isn't, because unfortunately for Trent, this is exactly what Flair wanted to happen. Now he activates his quick play spell card, Concentrating Current. Flair targets his Crimson Blader, and now it gains attack points equal to its defense points until the end of the turn. Flair orders Crimson Blader to attack Dustopia. It does, but Dustopia isn't destroyed. This is because Trent activated Impenetrable Attack and used its first effect. So Dustopia wasn't destroyed, but Trent still lost 2,400 life points. Why didn't he use Draining Shield? I don't know. Maybe he's saving it just in case Flair gets out a massive monster that goes for a direct attack or something. And speaking of Flair, I bet you're regretting not activating that MST now, aren't you? Of course, if he hit Draining Shield, Trent would still have Impenetrable, and he could still target his own monster, and all this would still happen. But if he targeted Impenetrable, Trent would most likely chain it in order to save his Dustopia, and basically nothing about this turn would change. So maybe Flair is just saving his MST just in case Trent draws something like, I don't know, Clock Tower Prison, or like a future Vision Hero monster or something. Also, Trent could have put his increase in the Spell and Trap zone there since he took damage, but maybe just doesn't want his back row getting all clustered. So a lot of questionable choices, and you could argue misplays here, but it's not the end of the world. It's not like it cost anyone the duel in this move, so we'll just move on from this. Back to the duel. Aggravated, Flair sets his breakthrough skill face down and ends his turn. It's Trent's turn. He draws and gets Mask Change. He begins by activating Fusion Recovery. Then he can add Polymerization and King of the Swamp from his graveyard to his hand. Even though King of the Swamp wasn't used as fusion material for a fusion summon of a monster, whoops. He then activates Tribute to the Doom, discarding a mystery card, we'll say it's Dasher, to destroy Crimson Blader. He then has his Dustopia attack directly, dealing 3,000 points of damage to Flair. Trent ends his turn. It's Flair's turn, and the penultimate turn of the duel. He draws and gets really excited because he just drew Rank Up Magic, the 7th one! He reveals and activates it immediately. Now he can special summon one over 100 monster straight from his extra deck or graveyard, and he special summons the best over 100 monster, number 105, Battling Boxer, Star Cestus! Then the second effect of the 7th one kicks in, letting him rank up into its Chaos form. So he brings out Chaos number 105, Battling Boxer, Comet Cestus in attack mode. Next, Flair activates his face-down breakthrough skill, and he targets Dustopia. Now its effects are negated for the rest of the turn. And you know what? This is a misplay to Trent for not activating Dustopia's effect in response, since it is a quick effect. But to be fair, it is shown that he did not see that rank up magic coming at all, nor number C105. So maybe he was just so surprised that he just straight up forgot to activate it. Or maybe he was just so impressed by Star and Comet Cestus' awesomeness that he's like, I can't handle it. What do you mean quick effect? Damn it! Then Flair activates his Mystical Space Typhoon, destroying Trent's Draining Shield. And following that up, he activates Comet Cestus' effect. Since it has a 105 Star Cestus as material, it can detach one overlay unit, 105, to destroy one monster Trent controls. He destroys Dustopia, and Trent takes 3,000 points of damage! Finally, Flair activates the effect of his Firecracker in his hand. By discarding it, Flair deals another 1,000 points of damage. However, Flair's next draw phase will be skipped. Not that he's going to get one. Not wanting to class his Comet Cestus into Adoration, Flair sets Dark Bride face down and ends his turn. Yeah, he had an extra card in hand as well. Starting from card of Sanctities, -1 for Yoko, then another one for the cost. Then he used a Concentrating Current, then he set Breakthrough Skill, drew the 7th one, activated the 7th one, used MST, discard Firecracker. Though I do want to clarify, this is a really intense duel despite that whole extra card thing. So if you just pretend that each duelist activated Pot of Greed off screen, it's not an issue. Boy, I sure hope the moral of my Would X Beat Y videos doesn't become everyone should activate Pot of Greed just in case. Because I do not want any of you becoming my little pog champs. Get out! It's Trent's turn, and the final turn of the duel. He draws and gets Fusion Destiny. He activates it, but Flair immediately chains Dark Bride, negating Fusion Destiny, but allowing Trent to draw one card. He draws and gets Draw Hand. Flair then laughs hysterically, having negated the one card that cost him the duel last time. Unfortunately for him, Trent's turn has only just begun. He then activates Polymerization. He then fuses the Destiny Hero Draw Hand and the Water type King of the Swamp in his hand together to make Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. He then activates a quick play spell card Mask Change. Now by sending a hero monster to the graveyard, Trent can special summon a masked hero straight from his extra deck with the same attribute. He attributes the water attribute 0. To bring out the water attribute, masked hero Acid! Acid's effect activates, and Absolute Zero chains. So, in reverse chain order, since Absolute Zero left the field, all Flair's monsters are destroyed, meaning Cestus makes like a comet and blows up. Now Acid's effect activates. Since it was special summoned, all of Flair's spell and trap cards are destroyed. So the shackles of Fiendish Chain shatter. Trent then has both Acid and Adoration attack directly, winning the duel, yet further fueling Flair's flame for revenge. So, was Flair able to defeat Trent? Well, that's the thing. I'm not exactly sure. See, his best opening would have come if he used Fiendish Chain the moment that Trent summoned Ferris. Then he couldn't do his long-ass combo anymore. However, Trent still has the King of the Swamp in his hand, Celestial, and Diamond Dude. He could dump Swamp to fetch a Poly. He could then use said Poly to fuse the heroes in his hand, or Ferris with one of the heroes in his hand to make Adoration. Then he could normal summon the other hero that he didn't use his fusion material in his hand, to have Adoration lower Crimson Blader's attack points by that hero's amount. I should also mention that Trent also has the ability to go into Dystopia, but that would just lead to burn damage and then just a clash with Crimson Blader, and all he's got on the field is a Varus that can't do much. He could have also activated Mass Change on a previous turn after he drew it on Adoration, but we don't know if he has any Dark-type Master Hero monsters, so as far as we know, Acid is the only Master Hero he has. I mean, he is running a combination of Vision Hero, Elemental Hero, and Destiny Hero. It's all in one 15-card extra deck. He might only have Acid, we don't know. Adoration is actually the better choice. So he could summon the other hero and have Adoration use its effect to lower Crimson Blader's attack points, and have both monsters attack. Now Flair does still have his set Threatening Roar, so we'll say he uses it, and Trent sends his Impenetrable and Draining Shield face down. On the next turn, Flair's going to activate the Animate card of Sanctity. He can use it, and Flair will then use Yoko to destroy Adoration, then attack the weaker hero monster, and now Flair isn't forced to use Concentrating Current to get over a smaller hero monster. Though since Flair is still out for revenge, he possibly could still use it just to deal more damage to Trent, or at least he assumes he will, because Trent could then immediately think that that's too much damage for him to take, and activate his Draining Shield instead of Impenetrable. The point is though that Flair has the choice if he wants to activate Concentrating Current. He could also choose to set it face down and then have it be a surprise attack against Trent on the next turn. Because in the cannon position, he had to use Concentrating Current if he wanted to get that lockdown set up. But now he isn't in that position. Now on the next turn, of course, Trent's going to use Tribute to the Doomed to probably destroy Crimson Blader and then make that Concentrating Current useless. And maybe be forced to use some of the other cards in his hand to combo off more, unless he can't do much, in which case, we're back to Flair on his turn, he's going to draw the 7th one, and it's basically in control of the duel again. But the thing about all of this, though, is that we're basically in a whole new duel in this point. And with Trent having so many mysterious cards in his hand, I don't really know what direction the duel could go in. I want to say Trent probably could win, just because of all the various hero support cards, but I can't say that for 100% certain. So, what do you guys think? Did you see an opening that I missed? Or better plays that other duelists could have made? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to check out Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels of Despair if you get the chance. It recently got rebooted to fit in better with the Dragonverse, and fit in with the other 3 or 4 shows that are in said universe, like Dragon Warriors, Sacred Journeys, and so on. And they already have so much great stuff already, and even more great stuff to come. So be sure to check them out if you get the chance. With all that said, thank you all for watching, I hope you have a great day, and even better 2024. Bye!